So she's freaking out. She's like, wife? What? Are you serious? Hi, this is Cass from Aussie Cass Plays, and welcome back to the Rose/Yellow generation, I guess, of my Not So Berry challenge, but mainly Rose. We're still on Rose, let's be real. If you've seen the little short McKinnon I posted, you'll know Ruby hooked up with Connor after the attempted wedding that we had. She's come over, and Phoenix is actually currently having a lovely soak in the bath, and she's like, oh my god, you'll never believe what happened. And she's telling Marigold all about it, like, you know, oh, we hooked up, you know, most people had left, and he was at the bar, like, sending some texts and having a drink, and I just, you know, one thing led to another, and he came back to my place, and Marigold is like, you hooked up with him? That's awesome. And Ruby's saying, look, but I'm a bit worried about how Phoenix is going to react because, well, he's a bit possessive of us, and I know he doesn't much like Connor, and I'm a little bit worried. And Marigold's like, I mean, he did invite him to the wedding. Why don't I try and suss out what he thinks of Connor? And that way you don't have to admit to what happened. Now, the thing is, where is Phoenix going? Because I'm like, if he walks in earshot of them, I think he'd hear them. It looks like he's going to empty the bin. Obviously, I've got her on the chess table. For her aspiration, she needs logic level 6. For her career, she has everything she needs. She actually didn't have work today. Phoenix did, but he missed most of it because when I recorded the machinima, I never know how to say that word. When I loaded the file up, it was like 20 minutes left of the workday. So that was a bit awkward. Actually, no, there's a good reason why he had a bad day at work, because the wedding has leaked to the press. Everything that happened, all the gory details, how he left her at the altar, how there was a big blow up. He knows somebody talked to the press about it. Like, somebody there has to have leaked it because there weren't any paparazzi. Oh, that reminds me, I was going to cheat his celebrity level, wasn't I? If you think about, I mean, really, the president would be a proper celebrity, or maybe a global superstar, depending on what they're president of. But I don't want to go too OP with it because I am cheating to do this. So maybe a B-lister. He'd get invited to some parties. He's not going to start glowing, is he? I don't know if the glowing happens. I think it's a global superstar thing, isn't it? So he's going to complain to Ruby, I guess. Now, I don't think he heard them talking. He's complaining about all of the negative press he gets and like how he can't do anything right. Whenever he tries to do the right thing, it all goes wrong. And Ruby's like, well, to be fair, you didn't actually marry Anna. I know you said you were going to get married to her for your reputation, but you didn't actually do it. So to be fair, Phoenix, of course it's bad for your rap. And he's like, yeah. I mean, he still has a pristine reputation. Maybe that's what I should do. Because I gave him 3 levels of celebrity. I should take off 3 levels of reputation. If I take him back to neutral, that makes sense to me. So he's going to have to work to be like, everyone likes him again. I don't know how it'll go because I think the reputation is based on how many Sims they're friends with, and he's friends with everybody. So it may pop straight back up. So yeah, she's basically telling him, look, you kind of brought it on yourself. Now I'm going to have Marigold ask, if I can, about did she actually meet Connor? We'll say Marigold's asking because I did say Marigold was going to ask, but it's actually Ruby. So we'll see what he says. It's like, hey, you know, it was good that Connor came to the wedding, isn't it? You seem to have patched everything up. Oh, thumbs down. He didn't actually give a reply. Like, I didn't get a quote, but we got a thumbs down. So he's like, yeah, look, I mainly invited him because he's still friends with Kara and some of my other friends, and I didn't want to upset them. Now, something I only noticed, to be fair, I'm going to pause it. I didn't know this information when I recorded that video. I swear to you. But when I was looking at Phoenix's relationship with Connor to figure out how he'd react, and I moused over him, you see what I'm seeing? And I'm sure that she asked him if he was single and he said yes. But he's married to Tiffany Bennett. And Phoenix would know this. Obviously, Ruby didn't, because she would not have hit on him. Anyway, so he's basically like talking to them and he's like, yeah, you know, I invited him basically to be polite. His wife couldn't come. Like, he just mentions it in passing. And she's like, so she's freaking out. She's like, wife? What? Are you serious? He obviously didn't smell a rat at her reaction, which is kind of funny. It's a bit early, don't you think, for bed? Oh, Ruby. And then she's like, oh, I should go. And poor Marigold is sitting here like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Did oh, Jeb's calling. He spent some time with Hermione St. Clair. He was amused the entire time. I think it was a friendship thing. Better be. No more cheating scoundrels in this. Honestly, I was actually thinking that Ruby and Connor might end up together. Like, what are you mean married? But yeah, so Marigold obviously knows, Ruby knows. Phoenix just walked away, didn't twig to the fact that he was like, yeah, you know, his wife couldn't make it, blah, blah, blah. And obviously Ruby left instantly, so she was devastated. Now, I'm actually thinking once she's finished eating, the message from Jeb was, hey, do you want to come to my place? Actually, it was probably, can I come over? And she's like, oh, I need to get out of the house. Can I come to you? Because I don't actually think he'd invite her. He's like, sure, of course you can. Now, I don't think she has work tomorrow. Oh, no, she does. She does have work tomorrow. So I don't want to keep her out too late. Now, Jeb lives in Evergreen Harbour with his family because obviously he only just finished school. They actually live in a quite nice house up in Grimm's Quarry. All right, so we've arrived. This is actually Jeb's younger brother who's out the front. She's going to do a funny introduction. She's like, hi, pleased to meet you. Do you live here? And he's like, yeah, I do. My name's Gideon. Who are you? He's like, I'm Marigold. He's like, oh, I've heard about you. And then he's immediately talking about underpants and handcuffs. I was going to say, I assume it's something wholesome related to underpants, but then he talked about handcuffs and urinals. Do I really want to talk to this child anymore? He's very, very disturbing child. Now, this family is, I believe, a Plumbella family. They have a little bio, which is basically, it's Jeb's parents. I think he had one sibling. He's now got two because the game's given him, like MC Command Center or the game itself has given him a younger sibling who's now a toddler, and their grandmother live here. Of all of them, only a couple of them work. The dad doesn't work, but I will say Jeb obviously knows this. This was actually the study. I fitted it out for a toddler, but it was full of like these indoor plants boxes, and I think Jessie may have been implying maybe the dad was into growing plants and selling them for profit. So like, interpret that how you will. This is his bedroom in here. Oh, he's on his computer. I feel like he would actually be, let's call him over because I feel like he'd be introducing her to everybody because she's kind of standing here awkwardly. And, you know, his mum's like, Jeb, you have a visitor. Calling out. Marigold's standing there super awkwardly. Now, you may remember Jeb, when we first met him, had a paper bag on his head. He's the member of this family that is embarrassed to be a member of this family. So she's giving him a kiss hello. She's like, hey, how are you? And he's like, let me introduce you to my mum. This is Faye Harris. So she's going to do a respectful introduction to her and also to his grandma, who I think is Faye's mum. That's Francine Spencer. Those bills were $5,000. We can't afford that. So that's fun. She's like, pleased to meet you both. Outgoing, romantic, non-committal. Maybe why she's still single. She might have been a single mum to Francine. Gideon's like, I'm going to go into his room while he's not in there. Now, I need to have a look at all these sentiments and we'll see what she actually thinks of everybody. She thinks Faye is a nature maniac. Faye is a freegan, a goofball, and a glutton. She thinks Marigold's proper and polite. Well, Marigold is proper and polite. She got an anti-crush on Cletus. Thank goodness for that. Although she sees him as very attractive. So obviously, whatever it is about Jeb that she's attracted to is the same with Cletus. He has the same features. He's a bit more heavy set, but he's got the same like hair, eye colour and stuff. He thinks she's immature. How dare. Marigold thinks Francine's fun and she thinks Marigold is distant. It's an ant. She doesn't really like any of them. He's immediately angry, so that's great. You guys should stop flirting with each other. I also want her to meet the toddler. Come and meet him. This is little Quinton Harris. He's probably taking himself off to bed, I expect. Go be funny with the toddler. Look how cute he is. He's like a little mini Jeb. She could have a baby that looks like that. She's like, I'm very pleased to meet you. Let's read him to sleep. Why not? So she obviously does need to go home. Oh wait, they got a sentiment together. Are these all new? Deeply connected, smitten, friendly advice, deeply connected. Oh, that one will have been from the phone call when he was like, hey, should I hang out with this person? And she's like, sure, trying to encourage him to have more friends. I mean, she's met them. She doesn't really like them. She thinks her dad would not approve of this family at all, possibly other than this cute little guy. But she really likes Jeb. Well, I mean, likes isn't the right word. She loves Jeb. She's deeply in love with Jeb. He wants to be a house husband. He probably wants to live in a normal house, like a normal family environment, and he thinks his family is not normal. Where are you going? Kid, I read you to sleep. Go to sleep. She's met them. It's all good. So she's going to head home because she does actually have her first day of work tomorrow. So I did want her to meet that family, especially because when these guys get married, we obviously want to invite them to the wedding. So she did need to meet them. All right, I've just cropped across into Ruby's house for a little bit because we've got a loose end we need to tie up here. Now, she's invited Connor over. She's like, you up? And he's popped over, expecting probably more of the same. And she's getting stuck straight into him. She's like, basically, how dare you? These guys are not actually boyfriend and girlfriend, so we can't break up with him. She has to actually ask to be friends. But I thought I'd have them have a big blow up first because it does seem to me like she would. Like, they should have a negative relationship out of him cheating on his wife with her. She's like, how dare you put me in a position where I'm a homewrecker? And he's like, well, you came on to me. And she's like, well, I didn't know you were married, did I? Yes, successful face drink. God, he's feeling hurt. Seriously? You're feeling hurt. You were cheated, you dirtbag. He's like, I thought you knew. I thought you knew. Me and my wife are in an open relationship. She's like, yeah, right. How about I ask her? He's like, no. No need to ask that. So they're having a huge argument, which is good because he deserves it. Now, I had actually moved him in, which was partly because it was easier to film the video if I could control both of them. But I was imagining that he might actually move in until I discovered he was married. Because what I originally thought was Phoenix's reaction to having this guy that he doesn't really like that much in his family home would be a problem. How is she the argument loser? I don't get how she's the argument loser. That doesn't make any sense. I just don't want her to get enraged because I'd be very sad if Ruby died. So let's kick him out. Oh, he's feeling super sad. Oh, he's throwing a drink at her now. That's rude. Let's criticize his woohoo technique. I mean, she doesn't have a lot of basis for comparison. I don't think she's... Oh, he had a successful cup too. Like, she's had other partners, I imagine. I think she's the kind of... She was quite popular in school and she certainly would have had the opportunity. But she learned from her brother and didn't get pregnant. I'm glad she didn't get pregnant to Connor, actually, because it could have happened. I'm going to switch back because it's 2 a.m. and I do actually want my Sims to go to work. But I think we needed closure on this little incident. I can't believe this guy. I can't believe he was married. I can't believe I didn't notice. So I just tracked down Tiffany so that I could move Connor in with his wife. Yeah, she's evil, mean, jealous. She'd really love that her husband had an affair. She's also the younger sibling of this fella, Malcolm Landgrab. So she lives with Amber, who is Malcolm's younger wife. Quite a bit younger by the looks of things. So he married into the Landgrabs. All right, it's the next day. Phoenix has just come home from work. By the way, I forgot to tell you guys, we finished the rocket. So that's cool. She hasn't actually been up in it yet though, because we need to upgrade it a bit. I think Phoenix is enough of a caring parent that he'd be like, can you not blast off in the rocket that doesn't even have like landing stabilizers or any of that stuff? Like, you're going to crash and die. And then this challenge will end. Anyway, I think young Phoenix here, especially because Marigold's at work till 9 and we still can't pay our bills. I think I'm going to have him go out. I don't know who with. He obviously doesn't know about the situation with Connor, or I might have had him revenge target Emily Rose, which isn't very good of him. Frankly, I think Connor was revenge targeting Ruby in the first place. Like, she obviously approached him, but he went along with it to spite Phoenix. Celia Alvarez. She's a perfectionist and a foodie and stuff. Maybe he could send her a text. Be like, hey, how you going? You work? I was going to say you up, but it's like 3 p.m. He's like feeling like he needs to get back on the bike, on the horse. Neither of those are good metaphors. Oh, it's Winterfest tomorrow, by the way. What I'm thinking is we'll do that in the next part. Send a flirty text to Celia. I actually can't remember how they met. Why don't I just have him travel? We'll go to like a bar or something. He's like, hey, do you want to catch up for a drink? Oh my gosh, there's a blizzard here. He's the kind of guy who'd order the most expensive thing, even if we can't currently afford to pay the bills. Get a Ridgeport. So he's like, hey, how are you? You know, it's been a while since I've seen you. And she's like, yeah, you know, she's feeling tense. It's probably the blizzard. Let's confess attraction. She's consulting her future cube. It's like, what do you have to say about this guy? And it's like, nothing either way. So he's like trying to work his magic. She's feeling stressed. There we go. It'd be good if we could get her not be tense, but because there's a blizzard, I don't feel like that's going to happen. Also, I think I made it so ask if single was a friendly interaction. Yeah, it is. I found that setting in MC Command Center and I was like, yes. Why isn't that a friendly interaction? Why do I have to flirt with someone to ask if they're single? I feel like that comes up in conversation with like colleagues and stuff. She is single. That's good for now. I mean, She might be married by the next time we talk to her. It can happen fast. He's like, hey, you know. Thing is, he's incredibly charming, and even though she probably knows his reputation, because everybody knows his reputation, he's fairly high profile, and she's consulting the future cube again. She's like, is that a bad idea? Yeah, she's clearly a very superstitious person. She's been promoted. Wait, Marigold's been promoted. This is important. She'll now make an additional 17 per hour. We still can't pay the bills. She got a bonus, some blueprints. She can track satellites on the telescope. And her next shift is tomorrow. Our power's going to get shut off. Coincidence, given that we've just made enemies. Well, our sister just made enemies with a land grab? I think not. I think there's been a bit of a land grab tax applied to our bills. Oh, she finds him attractive. I think everyone finds him attractive. I'm not going to have Phoenix cheat on anybody anymore because I feel like he's old enough and mature enough to know better. He still moves fast. Also, I need them to be... Oh, look, he's twirling her. Oh, that was a cute interaction. Okay, she said yes. I genuinely thought she was going to say no. So in theory, that should go up to 6, right? Yes, it did. Awesome. Obviously, the relationship can't last for very long. He's going to invite her back home. He's learned from his mistakes. He's going to introduce his daughter to his girlfriend. I'm going to have him do that from now on, I think. Vlad's in the neighborhood too, so that's nice. He's like, can I come in? How about me? Invite me in. I'm not inviting you in, Vlad. I feel like that one time we flirted at the romance festival, you got the wrong idea. It was a whole thing. So Marigold's in here watching TV. These guys come in. She's going to do a polite introduction. She's a bit wary. I mean, it's a good sign that her dad's like, hey, you know, this is Celia. Oh, she got a negative mood or a negative sentiment. I don't know what Marigold got. Marigold thinks Celia is pretentious. I mean, yeah. And Celia's like, well, I wouldn't sleep with her. Good. Let's just have her ask about her career and just make some small talk. He wants to go to bed. I know you want to go to bed, buddy, but I kind of had ideas for how that could occur. It mainly involved taking Celia with you, so just wait. He's letting them have a talk, and I think he might then say to Marigold, hey, what do you think of Celia? Because, like I said, he's trying to be a bit more responsible. Maybe I'm not the best judge of character. Yeah, go to bed. That's a good idea. You do that. She's like, okay, Dad, have a good night. And he's like, okay, honey, because she can read the room. She knows this guy. Let's see if I can invite her to stay the night. I don't want the woohooing in the rocket ship. Just a regular woohoo of some kind would be fine. I'm going to leave this part here. We're one step closer to completing Phoenix's aspiration. I feel awful for Ruby. I did not actually intend... I know I've said this like 5 times, but I did not actually... Whoa, where are you going? No. Let your daughter sleep in her bed, Phoenix. Yeah, I feel really bad for Ruby. I actually... was kind of thinking what would happen. In my mind, the story I imagined was that Ruby and Connor would get together and that Phoenix would struggle with that and suspect that Connor was doing it to piss Phoenix off or whatever. Yeah, the electricity just got shut off. That's fun. Anyway, that's a problem for the next part. I'm going to wrap this one up here. If you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe. You know the drill. Don't forget to wash your hands. I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.